Welcome to DigitalK.
For context, guys, who knows Smule here? Can you just raise your hands? So some people know Smule. I will be very honest, I heard about you guys, but before knowing that I would do this interview, I hadn't downloaded the app, so I didn't know exactly how it worked. And I was actually very surprised. Can you maybe tell us in your own words what it actually is? Because honestly, the first thought I had when I heard this, it was, oh, yeah, it's another streaming platform, or it's TikTok. And it's none of this. Can you tell us a little bit?
Those are both fun. That's not us. We build a platform of applications to allow people to create music together. So maybe unlike a Spotify where you're listening to music, on Smule, you're singing, you're rapping, you're playing, often with somebody else. And in fact, the most common mechanic on our platform is you choose a song you want to play or sing, and then you choose a person with whom to sing or play that song. And on a typical day on Smule, you'll have around 10 million duets performed on our platform. We're storing around 30 terabytes of content in the cloud each day that our community is creating. And so, in essence, we're a music creation platform. We're a social network for music, not my favorite word. But maybe we're bringing music back to its roots as more of a creative, participatory medium, encouraging people to create, not just consume.
Yeah, because, I mean, I used to play instruments, but now these days are gone. So basically, my only way for me to create music is I go late at night in a karaoke and I try to badly sing.
Right.
And this is why I mentioned TikTok, is that there's this renaissance of people just lip syncing or singing over songs. But you go much further than that. So it's only you just mentioned singing, but anyone creating any type of music can enter and try his or her hand, right?
Yes. TikTok's a really fun platform. People lip sync, people dance. My little girls love it. Other people, if they want to actually create music, that's where Smule comes in. Our sing product, our piano product, our rap product. People are actually creating performances and engaging and expressing the music together on Smule. So it's a different platform, it's a different concept, and perhaps complementary, but you could see how some people might not understand the difference between the two.
But yet, it's so that people have context. It's not only the people, your users, your creators, composers, you call them. We'll go there in a minute. Creations. You also have the catalog of all the most majors and the labels in the world, so people can also use that, right?
Right. So we have 40 million people creating songs on our platform every day. We work with most of the major artists as well. If you're an artist, Demi Lovato, Ed Sheeran, even local artists, it's fun to create songs on Smule to invite your fans to come in and join songs with you. And we see a significant number of people on Smule who do that. In fact, we've launched 500 artists on the Smule platform. Having said that, most of the content is created by people like you and me with various degrees of skill and talent. And most of the time, we're just having a little bit of fun creating songs together.
Okay, you just said, I'm sorry because I will need to challenge you on that. You said, average you and me, and I know that you do not qualify as someone average in music, and I don't want you to be modest here. Can you just let us know, because also for context, who you are in music? We'll go for the rest, but you just showed me backstage, guys, you had what was it, Bach it was? I mean, no, come on, you play piano every day.
Yeah. Well, in my family, I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, out in the U.S., and in my family, it was really simple. If you wanted dinner, you had to practice the piano. And I was hungry, and so I chose to practice. So it was my choice. It wasn't Mom's choice. It was entirely up to me. But here I am, many years later, still practicing the piano. But yeah, I've been passionate about music my whole life. My parents met in a dance band. But, I mean, let me ask a question. How many people here don't like music? Raise your hand.
Okay, that's...
Right. So, me too. I'm like you. I like music. And I was passionate enough about music that after creating an email security company, I went back to get a PhD in music at Stanford. I showed up in my first class, and everybody thought I was the professor because I was so old. And I had to pull up a chair on the first row and show them, oh no, I'm not teaching, I'm a student just like you. And I went and I studied music. I went through the curriculum and had a wonderful time. But yeah, so I have a PhD in music. My field is data science in music, using statistics to try to develop a better insight into why people might engage in art. And more or less, that's the basis of Smule, our company. We're trying to find reasons to get more people to engage in art. Maybe
So
this world needs more art. We have lots of other things. Maybe a little more art would be useful, but we're trying to find scientific ways, but also creative ways, musical ways to get people participating in creating music.
You mentioned earlier you have 40 million users, am I
Yes.
right? Yeah. So you have the insights of these 40 million. So do you apply a lot of data science into what they're doing, into trying to understand what they're liking, even simply maybe to offer them what they should do next because they like it, as in Spotify who offers you a playlist, or what do you do with it?
Yeah, we do. We actually, we're collecting 2 billion analytic events a day, and we use those as a source of insight into informing product decisions, marketing decisions. And it's useful, and that was my PhD, data science as well. But data is going to get you so far. It's not going to get you all the way there. I think it's even more important to try to understand not necessarily what your customers are doing or your users, but try to understand why they're doing it. And that's a much tougher problem, and that's not something you're always just going to get from an analytics package or sifting through 2 billion events a day. But yeah, we get a lot of data. We have a lot of performances, and because of that, we can develop hypotheses about what it is that's going to motivate more people to create music. And tying into the previous speaker, that was a great chat. We are all vulnerable. We're all inhibited. If we were to pass around the microphone today and ask people to sing on stage, I don't know, maybe some of us would be more or less inhibited. And part of what we're trying to do to our company is how do we reduce that inhibition? How do we make it more hospitable to come in and want to create a song with somebody else, and then through that, forge a relationship with somebody with whom you can create music again and again. And it's interesting, on our platform, unlike, say, a Facebook where it's all friends, most of the people on Smule, they don't know each other. They start out off as strangers, and they form a bridge through the content they've created together, the songs they've sung. And then through that, they've created a network of people that they go back to and create more and more music. So it is an interesting way of kind of forming a company. It's not something we necessarily architected from day one. Here we are. It's going pretty well. But it's really inspiring, though, to think about how we could truly actually bring the world together through the medium of music. And that is our vision.
But just so, because we just said that you are an accomplished musician and you even have a PhD in computer music, if I suck completely, can I easily onboard myself to the app and try and have fun without having this judgmental eye that people could do if I were to start singing? Don't worry, guys, I won't.
Yeah, we can. So our Magic Piano product, it's expressive, it's you. You're not just mimicking somebody. But you could play Fior Elise in as many as a few minutes, and it's really fun. So we have 3-year-old children on the platform playing songs. We have an auto rap product. Auto rap converts speech into rap and corrects bad rapping.
Oh, wow.
And so it's really popular with 19-year-old white kids in Scottsdale, Arizona, pretending that they're from the hood. But they're just out having fun, exploring their gangster side, but we're then using technology to allow them to see what it sounds like to hear a rap star. One of our first products on iPhone was I Am T-Pain. It'll give you auto-tune on the iPhone. So like Rihanna, T-Pain, Jay-Z, all these guys are using auto-tune to do pitch correction, but also for expressive flavor. And we would give you auto-tune in your hands so you could sound like T-Pain in a recording studio. But a lot of the technology we're using is to reduce the inhibition, to make it more accessible for people to come in and take that leap of creating content on our platform and then sharing that platform, that content. The other thing we do is we'll give you a partner, so you don't have to lead. You can kind of join in and have fun with somebody else. But I would say a significant number of people on our platform are quite musically talented, and there are those that are less. But I think what's bringing us together is a pretty inspirational medium, but also a desire just to explore and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I was about to say, it is pretty fun. I've downloaded it. It is actually pretty fun. And that's the inhibition you said. I'm not particularly shy, but you're like, oh, the hell, I'm just going to try, and you try stuff, and then you join with other people, and sometimes it's a disaster. But most of it is fun because the onboarding is pretty simple. And that makes people coming back. You said launched 500 artists earlier. What do you mean by that?
So if you look at, say, the top 100 artists across the world, most of them have created versions of songs on Smule. Like, for example, Charlie Puth will create a version of his songs on Smule because he wants to invite his fans to come in and do duets with him, which will then mix together and allow you to share a video of you singing with Charlie out across your different networks. We also work with Disney, for example. My 10-year-old did a duet with Maui, the demigod from Moana, and she shared that with her grandma. That was pretty fun also. And by the way, she's the better singer. I try to stick to the piano. I'll sing when I have to. But I still enjoy it. And what I really enjoy is seeing people taking that leap and discovering what it's like to create again. Because if you think about it, before we had the recordings, like 130 years ago, how did you experience music? It wasn't plugging in the headset and the earbuds. It was passing around the guitar, it was going to church, it was, singing in the shower. Often it was singing with somebody else, but maybe that's what music's about, and it's not so much just streaming and listening. And so maybe there is an opportunity for more of us to participate in creating art, not just listening or consuming it.
I think I believe in that. I think what 95% of music nowadays is simply streaming or listening, or basically listening to something through recording. Live makes a lot of money, but it's limited because it's a one shot. Where do you see yourselves in there? Do you see yourself, not obviously replacing live, but like as a completely new medium to try to bridge a pure streaming when I might be just singing on my shower, but I want to sing with other people and then maybe try my luck on some instruments with a live experience which is completely immersive? Is it in between?
Actually, we support live. In fact, on our platform, you can create a recording with somebody and store it and forward it, or you could join a session with somebody else singing live, pass around the mic. We call that a campfire, and that's what we were trying to capture in that experience. So how do we see ourselves stacking up relative to the broader music industry? Well, we think we're reinventing the music industry. We're thinking we're making it about people, democratizing the creation and the distribution of the musical content, and taking it kind of out of the power of a few people or a few industries and pushing it out to everyone. And then allowing us to then discover, curate, and eventually participate in creating content as well. So we think maybe this is the future. We'll see. We got a lot of wood to chop. We're still, a smaller company. We're growing. But it's exciting, though, to think about the potential of where music might be if we're in it together and if we're creating songs together across this platform, regardless of culture, talent, language, the rest.
You're being very modest because you've been going for 10 years, 40 million users. I think you also have tie-ups with Tencent. I mean, you just mentioned tie-up with Disney. We're not talking about a small project on the side. You're being very modest. It seems to be proving the point that it is one of a different way, a new way to engage with music, clearly. And it's fun.
We're making progress.
He's modest.
We are, but I think we still have a lot to learn as a company and lots of different ways for us to grow and to try to understand what it means for people to create music.
Were you as enthusiastic? Because it's pretty cool to find a founder that 10 years after the start of the company she is still so enthusiastic about his product. Were you as enthusiastic when you were doing email security? Because that was your previous company.
Yeah. Well, we all need email security, right? Not necessarily when I was taking a company public and building the standards for email security back in 96, 97. That was a fun company in terms of solving a critical problem to allow people to have more confidence using a public network and figuring out how to protect privacy. Really challenging problems. But this company is a joy for me. And every day I have a chance to come in and see our community in action. I feel like I'm fortunate to be part of it.
Well, that shows. Trust me, that shows. And we started with that video, which at the end said Sofia. I said, you should welcome me. Can you maybe explain the link with Sofia with Smule? Because I think for this audience, it's actually pretty important.
Gosh, I've been so impressed with the talent, the insight, the skills with people from Bulgaria. My former company, we grew a significant operation here that was very successful. My colleague who is from Bordeaux, I convinced to come moved to Bulgaria, Eric Dumas, and here he is building Smule, Sofia. We are about to cross 100 employees in the Sofia region.
Oh, wow. In less than a year, right?
Yeah, but
Wow.
but we've had just an incredible experience cultivating the talent here and really thinking about unleashing the international perspective and the creativity that's unique to Sofia. It truly is an R&D center for my company where we are innovating and leading with product, design, marketing here in country.
And you said earlier when we were chatting before, you seem to be only doing cities with S's. First in San Francisco.
Yeah,
second
San
in
Francisco,
Sofia.
Sofia, so we're looking for another S, maybe
Singapore?
someplace in Asia. Singapore, yeah, good idea.
Yeah, well, that would be Asia. It's a big market for you, right?
Right. It is. It's a big market. I was talking in China a few months ago, and somebody was asking me, why are most of your users in Asia? And my answer was, well, that's where most people live. And so it truly... and so our world is coming together. It is. And music and art is one of those things that is going to bring our world together. And so it's important for our company to truly embrace an international perspective because that is the nature of our community today.